Welcome to the Financial G-Spot. I'm Robyn Crane, and I am here with a special guest. Actually, we had a special guest last week, and you are her husband. So this is really special because we have doctor and doctor. This is Dr. Darwin Perkins, who is a body code specialist. Did I get that right?
That is correct.
Body code specialist, and obviously a doctor. Pretty cool. And your wife is a doctor. And so tell me what that means, because that sounds really special. And this is the Financial G-Spot, which is all about focusing on the specific area. Where do you need to focus so that you can feel great about money? So body code, I have a feeling that focusing in that area could help people a lot with making money and growing their money.
It really does. We find that the real issue that everybody faces is their own self-doubt. And so that self-doubt evidence itself in a number of ways. One is just plain self-sabotage. You get somewhere and you find a way to screw it up so that you don't have to succeed. Another is the fear of success. There are several others, but it's the same thing over and over and over. You get to a point, you've got a great idea, you've got a great thing going, and all of a sudden it just falls apart. And I know you've experienced that. Everybody's experienced it. My thing is to help you figure out what that is that's causing those things to happen. Because you're not destined to fail. You're destined to have wild success. You just need to figure out how to make that happen.
Wild success, not wild sex, though that could be good as well. I always think wild and sex seems to go together. So tell me a little bit about your background, how you got into this, because I know you weren't always a body code specialist. So how'd you even get into this, and how has it helped you in your life?
It was really amazing. I was a techie, and I was a techie for 30 years. So confirmed, real, true techie. Logic was my thing, and if it wasn't logical, I didn't do it. And a few years ago, I started getting these things about energy and started getting a few feelings and a few examples of how energy works.
Tell us. I want to hear.
Well, it was little things, Intuition crept in. And somebody I met said, you really got to be more intuitive. And a few months ago, somebody said, what'd they say? They said, you are very intuitive. I said, really? I don't know what intuition is. And yet it started to kind of hang together. And just a few months ago, I met someone named Brad Nelson, Dr. Brad Nelson. He created what's called the emotion code and the body code. And he has developed a way for you to heal yourself, is what it amounts to. But everybody's got all of these things that are hanging on them. We call it baggage, we call it old emotions, we call it all kinds of things. But it's the things that hold us down. You know, we say, I'm not going there again. If I go there again, it'll happen just like it did last time. And so we don't even allow ourselves the possibility of success. And we've all got all that dragging us down. What Dr. Nelson did was he came up with a process for getting rid of that baggage. No harm, no foul. You don't have to expose anything to anybody else. It's just really cool. It just goes.
Awesome. So we're going to get to that in the next segment. But before we do, I'd love to hear some examples, like what people or different challenges have come to you, and how did you turn that around using this specific body code system?
Okay, one specifically for me. When I was first introduced to this, I said, yeah, right, this is not going to happen. And so I asked for somebody to do a thing on me. And they did. And my thing had been, up to that point, for almost 40 years, depression. And I was at the point on occasion, and fairly frequent occasions, that I just as soon not be here as be here. And so that was a real thing that would hold me back. And I went through one session. It was gone. I mean, it was completely all the way gone. And this was within about 15 minutes. Never came back, never have to worry about that. And it's that kind of thing that makes it so personally powerful. And it's something that can be taught to anybody very quickly.
Cool. And we're going to teach it here, so that's going to be fun. Awesome. And what about just either a story you've heard of people using this, or someone you've worked with and used this on? Like, what kind of shifts did they have? Do you have any specific examples of like how it really affected either their business or their financial situation, or help them? Like, I know we all have baggage, and it's all mindset, right? And I think most people believe that. But what people have challenges with, I think, is that, well, how I know I should believe this, or I know I should do this, either your belief or your behavior, but something is just, you can't change, you don't feel like you know how to change, or maybe you're not even willing to change. So how do you, get rid of those blocks and, like I said, maybe an example, so that you can financially get ahead?
Sure. And you're exactly right. It is the blocks that creep in. When you were 3 years old, you had this open field like a mountain meadow. You could run anywhere, you could go anything. And the problem is, every time you did something that somebody slapped you for, you put up a block and you said, I'm never going there again.
Yeah.
It's just not something I want to do. And as you did that, you built all of these walls in that mountain meadow. And now, all of a sudden, you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything because everything you think of, first thing is, I've done that. That's not going to work. And so I've had several examples. One person, in fact, just last week, we sat down for a session. It turned out to be a very short session, about 20 minutes. And there was a thing called a heart wall. And we took all the emotions out of that heart wall. And that's the thing that makes it so that you can't do things. And once we got rid of that, he called me back the next day and said, I don't know what you did. I don't know what happened, but I am so positive about where I'm going now. I know exactly what it's going to be. And I think that's the thing that's so incredible about this, is it removes those barriers and allows you to get back to who you are and who you really are capable of being.
Yeah, awesome. So I love to hear how it's done. So when we come back, we'll go over the specifics of how you can change your own body code. Can I say it like that? You can change your own body code? Cool.
Exactly.
I know I'd like to change mine. So again, you're watching the Financial G-Spot here on the Whatever It Takes Network. And I just want to tell you out there that whatever it is that you want, you can have. This is the area that you get to focus on so we can get rid of the blockages and break through to your success. I'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the Financial G-Spot on the Whatever It Takes Network. I'm Robyn Crane, and specifically, this is to help you break through in any area of your life. Of course, we're talking about money here on the Financial G-Spot, but if you're having challenges and you're not sure why you can't break through, or why you feel like you keep getting held back, there's probably some sort of block. And we have Dr. Darwin Perkins here, who is an expert in this field, to really help you break through those challenges and push through to being the true person you're meant to be, so you can really make a difference in this world and really have the success that you deserve. So awesome. Thanks again for being here. So you're going to show us how it's done, right?
Yes, I am going to show.
Okay. Are you going to do some voodoo magic on me, or just give us some tips?
All right. I will do your magic. I will do my magic on you.
Oh, gosh.
And so this is going to be cool.
Okay.
The thing I need first is your permission. So say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's one thing we don't ever want to do. What I do is this process allows us to talk to your subconscious, and your subconscious knows everything. And it literally knows everything. It knows everything about your body. It knows how well it runs. It knows how your immune system is doing. It knows which bones are out of alignment. It knows which cells need to be replaced. And it does that on a perfect basis as long as you allow it to do it. The issue is sometimes you get these trapped emotions, and when you do, it's actually a physical thing. It's this little piece of energy that's kind of glowing, and it gets stuck somewhere in you. And when it gets stuck, it causes wherever it gets stuck to not work the way it should, because that energy doesn't belong there, and it's the wrong kind of energy for that place in your body. And so it has all kinds of things that happen. Sometimes it makes you think different. Sometimes it makes you depressed. Sometimes it actually changes that organ or that thing that it's attached to, and you start having problems. You get sick, you get chronic diseases, you got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So this process is talk to your subconscious, allow it to tell you where the things are and what the problem is, and then allow it to release them. And the release is the hard part.
I'm getting nervous, but let's do it.
Good. So here we go. I have here a chart, and it has a whole bunch of emotions on it.
Okay. Can you lift it up a little bit?
A little bit more. How's that?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you can't really see. There we go.
That's good.
Okay. So it's got 60 emotions on it. That is all of the main emotions. So if there's an emotion your body has that's not on the chart, it'll pick one that's close enough, and that works.
Okay.
Okay. So I
feel like questions. I'm going to reveal all my challenges here. Gosh.
Simple. So the first thing I need to do is connect with you.
Okay.
So I am you. I am you. So we're doing this remote because I can't touch you, obviously. All right. so we're good on that. So, do you have a trapped emotion that we can release right now? And the answer is yes. See, I'm talking to your subconscious, so I don't really care if you talk to me or not.
Oh, cool. Then I'll just be silent.
So the answer is yes. So is this trapped emotion in column A or is it in column B? It's in column A. Is it in odd rows or is it in even rows? It's in odd rows, and there's six columns on here. So I'm going to ask which column now. Odd rows, so row 1, row 3, row 5, row 1. So
I'm not actually reading those. Am I supposed to be?
Don't have to. No.
Okay.
Because since it's your subconscious, it's connected to the rest of the universe. It already knows what's on the card.
Cool.
And
this makes my job very easy.
Okay, so now we've narrowed 60 down to 5.
Okay.
Now we've got 5, so let me see which one it is. Is it abandonment? Is it betrayal? Is it forlorn? Is it lost? Is it love unreceived? It's abandonment. So do we need to know anything more about this to release it? And the answer in this case is no. So usually what happens, well, not usually, sometimes what happens, it'll say yes, and then you go, okay, was it before you were 30? Or after you were 30? And you narrow down to when it was. We can generally narrow it down to about a year. And then in most cases, you recognize almost immediately what that thing was. You go, I know what that one was. I'd forgotten about that entirely. And then we release it, and you can forget about it entirely because it's completely gone at that point. In your case, for abandonment, it is something that you have taken into yourself now, and you believe that this is just part of your life. Okay? And I won't ask you any questions about it, but does that sound familiar?
Hate to be the skeptic, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't feel like I was abandoned consciously ever. I had a very nice upbringing. Both my parents are still together.
Cool. Okay, well, that's what it says. So let's see if we can release that and see what it says. So to release it, all I do is I take a magnet and I run it down what's called the main meridian. For chakras and that kind of thing, it goes from here all the way down your spine, but I just have to do it on top of my head. And you do it 3 times, and you think good thoughts, and that's it. And then, let's see if it's gone. Yes, it's been released. Okay, so that was gone. We don't have any idea what it was, but that was it. All right, you want to try one more just for grins? We've got
sure.
Time?
I got 2 minutes before my next break. Can we do it in 2 minutes?
Okay, we can do it in 2 minutes. All right, is there another trapped emotion we can release? The answer is yes. Is it in column A? Is it in column B? It's still in column A, and we got somebody running motorcycles. Anyway, still in column A. Even rows, odd rows. It's in even rows. Is in row 2, row 4, row 6, row 6, row 2, row 6, row 2. Okay, it's in row 2. That was close. So is it anxiety? Is it despair? Is it disgust? Is it nervousness? Is it worry? I got to try those again. Anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, worry. Okay, I'm getting anxiety. Do we need to know more about this? And the answer is yes. How old are you?
37. No.
Everybody's going to know. It's because I need to go about half. So did this happen before you were 15? Yeah, it did. Before you were 10? Before you were 5? Before you were 1? No. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. About age 3 or 4, you developed some kind of anxiety. Was this inherited from someone? Yeah. Your mother, your father, from your mother. Is your mother high-strung?
This one sounds more familiar. All right, so let's talk more about this after the break. So I definitely feel, I think you hit the nail on the head with anxiety. I don't know about abandonment, but very interesting. So again, you're watching the Financial G-Spot on the Whatever It Takes Network. We're doing some weird stuff to find my financial G-Spot. And we'll see you right here on the Whatever It Takes Network. a financial G-spot where it's my turn to be vulnerable and I get to reveal all my craziness to you, since usually I have a guest on here that I'm helping change their money beliefs and money patterns and have what they want in their life. But obviously, you know, everyone has their issues, and as Dr. Perkins has said, somehow he's figured out, I don't really understand how you know this or how you do it, and I'm sure there are a lot of skeptics out there, because I know I'm typically one of them. But the first thing you came up with was that I had some abandonment issues, which I don't know, but maybe it happened in my unconscious. And then the anxiety, I definitely can say that that's pretty, I'm very present to that truth. It gives me anxiety to think about my anxiety. So, yeah.
Interesting. Well, it turns out this one apparently you got from your mother. You know, if you sit next to somebody who's really angry, some of that almost rubs off on you, and especially if they say something to you. The same thing goes for all of the major emotions. You can actually grab those from somebody else and make them your own without even knowing that that happens. When that does happen, then you've got a life filled with anxiety, right? So the cool thing about this is we can release these. We discover them, release them, and what it does is it allows you then to get into that path that you know you really want to go down without the anxiety, without the worry, without those things that keep you second guessing yourself. You know the most successful people are the ones who sit there and say, I'm going to go do this. I don't care what it takes. And then they go do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's not an excuse. There's not
whatever it takes here on the Whatever It Takes Network, right?
Exactly. And there's no self-sabotage involved. They just go do it.
Yeah. So what do you say to, I mean, you can talk more about my anxiety. I'm cool with that. I can lie down on the couch or something. But I know, because I have inherently, been skeptical in my day. I also have a lot of positivity. But there are people watching this right now that are like, this is BS. So first of all, what is this whole thing? You're basically taking this and well, cure me of my anxiety first. Let's do that first to make sure I don't leave with this anxiety.
And all we have to do now that we've identified, let me check if it's okay to release it.
Oh, please.
And yes, it is.
Yes.
So I'm going to release it now. So I will rub the magnet over my head again. And what this does is this essentially does a pattern interrupter. If you can think of a long time ago, maybe you're not old enough, they had a thing called a degausser. And when you had VCR tapes, you would put the degausser on it and it would wipe the tape. Okay? Same thing. This allows the tape to be wiped for you, and that emotion that's sitting there ready to be released doesn't have anything to attach to for just an instant, and it floats off and it's gone.
And then how come it doesn't come back?
Because you don't need it. You never did need it. And that's the cool thing about it. You're not attracted to that emotion. It's just something that you were never able to get rid of in the past.
And what is it that the magnets, how does that take it away versus like just interrupting my pattern by going googly, 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 or something like that?
Because everything is energy. And so magnets are energy, right? If you put iron filings on a paper above a magnet, you see all these energy patterns and that kind of thing. Exactly the same thing with us. We are nothing but energy. We generate an energy pattern. In fact, it's been measured as much as 14 feet away from us at any given point. So we really are energy. When you walk into a room, people look at you. They make a decision right away about who you are. When somebody else walks into the room, a lot of guys go, I need to meet her. And the reason is it's not just the look, it's the feeling. And that's what we're getting. We're getting that energy thing. And we get it in feelings, we get it in emotions, we get it in all kinds of ways. Some of them get stuck. When they get stuck, we got to get rid of them. Got to find a way to do that. This is by far the easiest, least invasive. So you didn't have to tell me anything about anxiety other than I recognize it. That would be fine. And in fact, the first one, you didn't recognize it at all. And yet we were still able to release it.
So what's going to happen to me now? I'm just never going to get anxiety again. I'm going to make twice or 10 times my income.
Anxiety will not bother you like it did in the past.
Okay.
Now,
Sweet.
Maybe you, yeah.
Honey, did you hear that? I don't think he's here. Oh, he said, thank God.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Yeah, and that's usually the reaction to somebody else. When we do a full session, usually the first thing people say is they say, I feel lighter. And it really is one of those load off your mind. But really, it takes a load off your mind.
So how can people at home do this? Because no one, I mean, right now you're not giving them the options. They're watching, going, okay, this airy fairy stuff sounds airy fairy, or it sounds awesome, or whatever they think. But like, you're going to get skeptics and you're going to get people who totally believe in it, right? And I'm kind of a combination of both. Like, I'm totally skeptical and I believe in it at the same time. But how can they use this for themselves? Because if they're not talking to you right now, can they actually do it for themselves, or do they have to have you do this crazy magnet head thing?
Okay. First of all, yes, I'm a practitioner and I would love to do it for them.
Cool.
However, my entire goal in this is to help them to learn how to do it. So, first step, buy a book. I know it's cheesy, but buy a book. It's called The Emotion Code. Dr. Nelson wrote it, so I don't get anything for it.
Cool.
But it talks about this, how it works, why it works, and then it walks you through the process of learning how to do it yourself.
Cool.
You know, so for whatever the book costs, I think it's $17 or something like that. You then can learn how to do this. It also has a lot to do. Your emotions make you healthy or unhealthy. You know, if you're suffering from something, you got ulcers, you got headaches, you got crap. It would be really nice to be able to get rid of those, because those are things that also block you from moving forward. That will do that.
Is there anything they can do without getting, I mean, I know they should get the book, but they might not. So for those of you at home who said, I'm not going to get the book, you need to prove it to me, what can I do right now? People that have lasted this long and who are still here going, please, Dr. Perkins, give me something I could try so I believe you enough to buy the book. What can you give them? Anything?
Okay. Yep.
Sweet.
Have you ever heard of muscle testing?
Yes.
Okay. So they get with a significant other or someone else, they hold out their arm and they say, did he tell the truth?
Okay.
And when they push down on it, it'll be strong. You try to hold your arm up. The other thing that you can do, the muscle testing with the yes-no kinds of things, grab some sugar, packet of sugar, put it next to your heart, hold your arm out like that, and have somebody push down on it gently. And then grab some NutraSweet or some other kind of artificial flavor thing, put it next to your heart, and have somebody push down on it. Okay? It will go down on the NutraSweet. It will stay up on the sugar, which means now you can tell the difference between good and bad for you.
But would you say sugar is good for you?
Well, it's better than
That's a weird example.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think sugar would be like
some raw sugar or sugar cane, something like that.
But how? But okay, so I get, so they can believe you or not by doing a muscle test. But how does it actually? How can they actually use? Let's say they have anxiety or they have abandonment issues. How can they use what you just taught me, like, to do on their own, or can they not? Or they need the book for it?
They really do need the book because they need this thing.
Okay.
And that helps identify. You may think you suffer from anxiety, but in fact it's nervousness, or it's something else that's kind of like it but not quite. And if you can't release the right thing, it'll never go away. And that's the thing that the book really helps with. It teaches you how to identify things, because what you think in your head and what your subconscious knows are not the same thing.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you for joining us. This was definitely a different episode. Very, very just eye-opening. And my takeaway from this that I want you guys to think about at home is really, like, what is coming up for you as to why you're not having the success that you deserve? Like, you deserve success. You know that you're capable of making millions, of changing millions of people's lives, of having everything you want, having the wealth in your life. Whether you're in debt, whether you're just not making enough money, whether you feel like you're struggling because you're stressed out about money all the time, whatever it is that you're going through, I absolutely believe, I mean, there are different ways to do it, but I love this new idea, but I absolutely believe that there is some sort of emotional block. I mean, I've had back issues, I've had stomach issues, like I know the anxiety that's trapped in there has something to do with that. I think pretty much that's proven across now even Western medicine, that they know that stress and anxiety is causing you physical health problems. If it's causing your body physically to be challenged, then it's also affecting your success, how much money you make, how you impact others, your energy level, really how much of an impact you make on the world. So go get the book. Sounds awesome. Really focus on how you can get rid of those blocks in your life so that you can start making more money and have a bigger impact on the world. So thanks again for joining us. This is the Financial G-Spot. Again, I'm Robyn Crane. You can find me at robyncrane.com. Visit me on Facebook or on Twitter. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, and go ahead and leave comments here. We'd love to see you. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time on the Financial Juice Box.
The Financial G-Spot is also available for download on iTunes and Stitcher. See the link in the description below.